There is so much going on the Bitcoin network right now. It's pretty crazy. And we went through the whole bull market where wasn't much going on, right? The transactions didn't get bogged down. There wasn't much anything other than the taproot, which, funny enough, was the BIP that kind of got us into the situation. But there's several fronts going on here. There's several things going on with Bitcoin. One, you got the base layer. Then two, you have the potential for layer twos. And we've seen how effective the Lightning Network can be. Where they're batching transactions and then putting their ledger on top of the Bitcoin network to leverage their security. Now, the ordinals thing, it is interesting. On one, you're stamping data onto a Satoshi. That's essentially what we're doing. We're just encoding a message, a number, some kind of data onto a Satoshi. And this right here has a lot of use case, because if you have something that you deem important and you don't want it to be muted or lost, you stamp it on a Satoshi and, well, hey, the miners will essentially carry that message until the Bitcoin network fails, which we don't think it ever will. So for that reason, it can stamp it there forever. So if you have a last will and testament or an important corporate document or a message that you just simply want to stand the test of time, you can put it on there. Now, you mentioned that it's smart contract functionality. It's not really built for that. That is 100% true. And what we see with NFTs and what we see with ordinals is that, the NFTs that the communities are just launching one after another are pretty damn basic. Essentially, it is just data. It's just a picture, and without any utility, well, that can also be launched on the Bitcoin network. Now, where it changes is with utility and, as you mentioned, staking and a host of other options. And then if you broaden your thought horizon outside of just the NFT space that we are familiar with, where it's a picture, and you think about the possibilities of NFT with multimedia, and perhaps ticketing and documents and data, or you can just think of the smart contracts where, hey, I want to put in a bet and bring in data from an oracle to facilitate which side of the bet won. Or, hey, I'm going to transfer ownership of this asset over here. Once you receive it, send me my damn money. That's some very basic smart contract functionality. That's something that can't be done on the Bitcoin network. With that said, I think that the next bull market, there is going to be a space for smart contracts on Bitcoin network, not on the layer one, but on layer twos. Keeping a close eye on Stacks. We saw Stacks, which is probably the most well-known layer two for smart contracts that runs on Bitcoin. They had a big run up. They were down like all the other projects were in the bear market. I think they rallied up to $1 and some change. They're down 50% from where they were during this ordinal craze. So, if you're looking for an entry on a smart contract on Bitcoin, look no further than Stacks. And that's outside the top 50 on the coin market cap list. And when you're going to get now we're hearing about stable coins, I think this has the potential to be the next sector that really pops off. Smart contracts on Bitcoin network. We saw the rise of Polygon. Polygon took advantage of congestion on Ethereum's chain to build on top of it as a remedy. Now we're seeing the same thing. You're seeing the congestion on the Bitcoin network. We have a backlog in the mempool of transactions that still need to be validated. Why even mess with all this when you can do an actual smart contract with actual NFTs put on top of the Bitcoin network and do it on a scalable solution? All the same properties that you get from Polygon are here in the layer two. So keep an eye out for Stacks, and also keep an eye out for other new projects to come into the fray that also have the same opportunities that Stacks is addressing. When I was at Bitcoin Miami, I saw an entire exchange built off of ordinals running in real time on the Bitcoin network. The exchange was also decentralized, and they're moving ordinals around. And now they called it a marketplace. It was, think of like OpenSea, but they weren't just moving NFTs. They were moving tokens. So you could launch your own token on the Bitcoin network, have it on the exchange, and this is all happening for pennies. And this is something that caught me off guard. Sure, the art is cool, it's beautiful, it's on Bitcoin, it's trendy. But where the real power is leveraging the security, the immutability of Bitcoin, and stamping a smart contract on top of it. Pay attention. It's gonna be big.
I'm just kind of looking at Stacks as you're talking about it. It's only got a total supply of 1.6 or 1.8 billion tokens, which 1.38 is currently circulating. It had an all-time high, a little over $3.
It's at 60 cents. And you see that ordinal bump up where it's pulled back pretty significantly. It got up to over $1. I don't remember the exact number, but I remember I was kind of keeping $1.30. It's at 60 cents, down 50% from where it was in this most recent rally. But the thing is the interest in ordinals has not faded. If anything, it's growing, but yet this scalable layer 2 that addresses some of the issues, it's corrected heavily. And I don't know, man. Keep an eye on, man. Rob Stradamus' guy is on to something here. I'm letting you know. Watch out for Stacks.
I'm kind of agreeing with you. I like the comparison you drew to how Polygon started, violently moving up. It
did move violently up because it was addressing a congestion issue and
a high fee issue.
Yeah. And boom, high fees on Bitcoin, lots of congestion on Bitcoin. Also, it addresses the fact that there's no real smart contracts on Bitcoin. I mean, and then you start talking about stable coins. Like, we see how big market that is. What are the three of the top five? Was it three or two of the top 5 coins are stable coins and by market cap, and then 3 of the top 10?
No, BUSD is out.
BUSD fall out of there.
Forrest, what do you think about everything Rob just said? To you, your personal portfolio, is Stacks something that is worth it to you to maybe, if you haven't already accumulated, start accumulating? And do you kind of agree in the comparison he drew to what Polygon did to Ethereum?
Yeah, so this is just a perfect example to bring up the Research Hub. February 11th, we flagged Bitcoin NFTs are selling for absurd amounts of money. A Bitcoin CryptoPunk derivative recently sold for 9.5 Bitcoin or $214,000. Brought up the reasoning behind this was just very super basic, right? That Stacks may see some speculation due to its use cases supporting NFTs on Bitcoin as well as the transaction fees. So I took a spot position in Stacks at 28 cents. Right?
When was this, Forrest? What was the date this came out?
This on February 11th.
February 11th. Okay.
Yeah. So I 100% agree with everything Rob said. Like, this is, I think we'll get ordinals in BRC20 tokens have only grown in volume and interest. And it's the same exact thesis as it was in February when this was just starting to launch. But now it's only gotten bigger, and we're sitting on a 2x right now at 60 cents from that 28-cent entry point. Popped up to $1.30, and now it's corrected back around the 21-week simple moving average. I don't dislike a Stacks accumulation here. I don't dislike another entry for the exact same reasoning.